Alright, so this video is going to help us in solving for missing apothem and sides in a regular polygon. So in these three examples, we cannot take the area of our polygon as it is. We've got to do a little extra to find the heights of the triangles, which is we call the apothem, or the side of the regular polygon. So the first one we're going to look at is this example right here. So our first thing we're going to do is when we're given the side length only, we've got to do a little more. So we're wanting to create our little triangles in that octagon. This is an octagon here. So what we do is we figure out our central angle. Our central angle is constructed because this entire thing makes a circle of 360 degrees. We have 8 triangles in an octagon. So we're just going to do 360 divided by 8, and so that gives us these 8 angles here of 45 degrees. So that means this triangle right here is going to be a 45 degree triangle at the top right there, that 45 degree angle with that side. Now, currently, we can't do anything to that. We need this right here, this height of this triangle, that X there, right? Well, this is going to create a right triangle, and that is helpful because now we can go back and use Trig, SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so now we're going to use Trig based off this angle. So we've got an adjacent and an opposite. So if we go look over here, opposite and adjacent, tangent. So we're going to say tangent 22.5 equals 1.5 divided by x. Okay, we're going to multiply x on both sides. So we're left with x times tangent 22.5 equals 1.5. Now we're solving for x, so we're going to divide by tangent 22.5 on both sides. So we're left with 1.5 divided by tangent 22.5. And it gets you x equals 3.62. And that is the apothem, or the height of that triangle, is what we found. Okay, if you did not get 3.62, make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Alright, so we're going to use that apothem to find the area of the entire polygon. So that apothem is 3.62. It's going to be the area of one triangle times the number of sides, because the number of sides is going to equal the number of triangles in the polygon. So we're doing 1/2 times 3.62 times 3 times 8. And that's the area of a triangle, those first 3 numbers, and then the sides. So that's going to get us 43.44 inches squared. So that's that first example when we're only given a side length. Now the second one, we're given an apothem now, and now we need to find our side length. So we're going to start out the same way because it's the same shape. So we're going to have a triangle with 45 degrees, and this time we already have our apothem 3 inches x. So we want half that triangle again because we want a right triangle, so we can do trig. Okay, now notice this x is going to be half of the actual side of the octagon, so we're going to have to multiply that x by 2 at the end. Okay, so we look again at our trig ratios. We have an opposite and adjacent again. Again, we're going to use tangent. So we say tangent 22.5 equals x over 3. Okay, now we're going to do 3 times tangent 22.5 equals x. And so x equals 1.24. Alright, that is half of our side, so we've got to multiply it by 2 to get 2.48. Alright, we're multiplying by 2 to get the whole side of our polygon. Now we are ready to take the area of the entire polygon. So we got 2.48 as that side of the polygon and the apothem 3 inches. So the area of the triangle times the number of sides. So when I'm saying the area of the triangle, that's just this triangle right here. There's 8 of those triangles in there. So we're going to do 1/2 times 3 times 2.48 to get the area of that one triangle, and multiply it by the number of sides, or the number of triangles inside the octagon, which is 8, and we get 29.76 inches squared. That is our entire area of this octagon. Now, we look when they're given a radius only, okay? Now, we're going to have to do multiple things. We've got to find the apothem and the side of the polygon. So, we're going to start out again, 45-degree angle, because it's an 8-sided figure. So we're doing 360 divided by 8 to get that 45. And again, we've got to have a right angle in there, or a right triangle. So we draw that apothem in, and we're trying to find x, the side down here, and y, the apothem here. So the right triangle will look like so. Okay. Now, if we're finding two different things, we're going to have to use multiple trig ratios. Okay, so the first one, we've got sine, cosine, tangent again. I've got an opposite and a hypotenuse. Opposite and hypotenuse is sine. So we say sine 22.5 equals x over 3. Multiply by 3 on both sides, so I'm left with 3 times sine 22.5 equals x. So x equals 1.15. So we've got to multiply this by 2 to get the entire side of the polygon. Remember, this is only half of that triangle in that polygon. So we've got to multiply that by 2 to get that entire side. Okay, so that will be 2.3 is the side. All right, now we're going to go after the y. That's going to now be adjacent in a hypotenuse. So that is cosine. So we'll do cosine 22.5 equals y over 3. Multiply by 3 on both sides. 3 times cosine 22.5 equals y. Y equals 2.77 inches, and that's our apothem. Okay, that's the height of that triangle. Now we have all the pieces that we need. We have our apothem, and we have our side of our polygon. So we're going to use area of triangle times the number of sides. So we just do 1/2 base times height. So 1/2, 2.3, base, apothem or height, 2.77, times 8, the number of sides, and the number of triangles that are in this octagon. So we get 25.52. Okay, so these are the 3 examples that I could ask you, or 3 problems that I could ask you to find the area of the polygon. You've got to do some trig, kind of go back on some stuff we've been using, and use those to find those missing pieces so you can take the area of the entire polygon.